Jiwon was 28 and living in Busan, South Korea, in a life that felt as perfectly arranged as it was painfully predictable. Her mornings were always the same. The hiss of her coffee maker, the gray walk to the bus stop, the same faces in the office elevator. Her parents were proud of her stable job, her quiet life, and her respectful manners. But Jiwon's heart carried a silent yearning, a whisper that told her there was more to the world than the streets she'd walked since childhood. One evening, while scrolling through volunteer opportunities, she saw it. Teach English in Nigeria. 6 months. It felt wild. It felt impossible. And yet, it felt like a door swinging open. Within a month, she had resigned from her job, endured her parents' disapproving sighs, and packed her bags for a country she had never seen. When she stepped out of Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos hit her like a tidal wave. The thick, humid air, the symphony of honking horns, street sellers calling out prices, the scent of roasted corn and grilled meat in the breeze. She felt both lost and alive. The next day, at the gates of the community school where she would teach, she met him. Tunde, tall, warm-eyed, and smiling as if the Lagos sun itself had chosen him as its favorite. "Welcome," he said in smooth English. "The children are excited to meet you." That first smile became the beginning of something neither of them saw coming. Days turned into weeks. She stumbled over Yoruba words, and he laughed gently as he taught her the correct tones. She returned the favor by teaching him to say "annyeonghaseyo" without tripping over the syllables. Together, they wandered through bustling Lagos markets where women balanced baskets on their heads, bargaining for fabrics so bright they seemed to hold sunlight. One evening, a sudden tropical storm drenched the city. They found shelter in a tiny shop, rain pounding on the roof like a drum. He told her about his dream of starting a youth sports academy. She told him about the ocean near Busan where she used to sit and watch the ships. The air between them shifted. At the school's cultural night, he convinced her to wear a vibrant iro and buba. She danced awkwardly at first, but Tunde's laughter pulled her into the rhythm. Later, under lanterns swaying in the warm night breeze, they stood close enough that her heart stumbled. Neither spoke about what was growing between them. And then, time ran out. Her volunteer program was ending. She hadn't told him until the very last week. At the airport, he placed a small package in her hand, a beaded bracelet, the inscription in Yoruba reading, "Ore Aye," friend for life. She fought back tears as she boarded the plane. Back in Korea, they lived in two different worlds but shared one connection, the glow of their phone screens. They sent each other videos. Him on the Lagos streets at sunset, her on snowy mornings in Busan. They promised to visit soon. But as months passed, pressure mounted. Her parents warned her about cultural difficulties. And then one day she saw a photo online of Tunde with another woman. The image burned in her mind. When she asked about it, his voice over the phone was defensive. Accusations flew in both directions. "Do you even trust me?" he asked. She didn't answer. Weeks of silence followed, heavy and cold. One rainy afternoon in Busan, her phone buzzed. It was a video message from Tunde. In it, a street musician in Lagos played a soft Korean folk tune on a saxophone. Behind the camera, Tunde's voice said quietly, "I still remember everything you told me." Tears spilled down her cheeks before the song ended. 3 days later, in the middle of a snow-covered street in Seoul, she saw him. Tunde, breath steaming in the cold, a small box in his hand. "I couldn't stay away," he said, kneeling in the snow. "Marry me, Jiwon." Her parents' worries echoed in her mind, but her heart had already chosen. She whispered yes. Their wedding was a masterpiece of two worlds colliding in joy. In the morning, Jiwon wore a delicate pink hanbok for a traditional Korean ceremony. Guests bowed, and elders gave blessings. That evening, she changed into a radiant Yoruba outfit, her head wrapped in gile as talking drums filled the air. Kimchi sat beside Puff Puff on the buffet. Afrobeats melted into K-pop remixes. Guests laughed, danced, and marveled at the blend. They chose to live in Lagos, where Jiwon learned to navigate both the chaos and the beauty of the city. Tunde learned to appreciate the quiet discipline she brought into their home. Their children grew up switching easily between Korean and Yoruba, eating both kimchi stew and jollof rice. And on quiet nights, after the children were asleep, Jiwon would run her fingers over the beaded bracelet from years ago. "Love doesn't check passports," she would tell Tunde. "It just knows where it belongs."